I am recording. Well, good afternoon. And today it's 15 minutes with Small Biz David because I have a guest, a friend, a cyberspace friend. We met maybe 7, 8 years ago in cyberspace. We have never met in person. She is in Beaverton, Oregon. You still live in Beaverton?
I still do.
Still live in Beaverton. This is Susan, and if you follow me and follow what we're doing, Susan and I did a 60-minute video discussion in early May, and it was setting the foundation to all the things that we are doing today. I've asked Susan to come back and just do a quick 15 minutes, and in the spirit of the game, we're going to talk about keywords, and we're going to share some ideas about new revenue streams. So, Susan, how are you today?
I'm doing great, David. It's so nice of you to invite me again.
Well, you know, you are in this whole thing that I'm doing. You're one of the five main people, one of the 6 main people. I'm having so much fun with this, Susan, and the hundreds of projects I've done in the last 50 years, this is the best. It's amazing that, you know, I'm pulling all the things together from the last 50 years, and I am so busy. There's so many pieces to this, more pieces than I've ever put together, and so just having a great time doing it. So as you talk, and you do talk, why don't you share a little bit about what you do and why you do what you do as a small business person?
I create, I ignite, I teach, I inspire.
You do all those things?
Those are my keywords.
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's go back. Let's go back and talk about small business creativity, because that just so happens to be one of the main keywords in all that I'm doing. I call it New World Creative Marketing Sales. That's what we do. New World New World Creative Marketing and Sales. So talk about creativity. How important is it?
It keeps your mind flexible. It keeps your purpose in your path flexible. If you aren't always creating, you're staying stuck and just repeating. So you have to create in order to stay ahead, to stay fluid, to stay flexible, to be open to growth and new ideas. And you can't if you're not willing to create or risk. They kind of go together.
Well, they very well. You hit another word, obviously, small business risk, and risk certainly means different things to different folks. Because I have been doing what I'm doing virtually all my life, I don't even think about risk. You just do. It's a way of life, and if it works, you keep on going, and if it doesn't work, you fix it or change it and keep on going. And so, isn't it interesting? You've hit the main keywords of what we talk about: creativity, risk. What risks have you taken in your life?
Well, I'm about to take a big one. You're hearing it here first. October 1, I assumed the helm of the Funnel Media Group, which is a company I helped build for a client, and it's a podcast network, and I'm turning it into a podcast agency, and I will become the owner.
Oh my goodness.
Which also means I will be able to employ people and have more 1099 people, so giving more people jobs and experiences. And what I have done in the past is when I have people come on as 1099ers, I train them enough that most of them go on to make more money and start their own companies or work for larger companies, which is fine. But that's what I like to do. So this will become more of a family business with a couple of outsiders.
Interesting. How long ago did you consult with the individual to start the company?
I've been working with Jim Obermeyer since 2008. 2008. And I started with him to help with the Sales Lead Management Association's website. And from there, we started a podcast for SLMA Radio. And from there, he and I came up with the idea to have a whole network. So we have 9 streamed shows every week. We have 14 shows we produce. And I have 2 more coming on in September.
Wow. You got me. I'm flabbergasted. Well, it's funny because Susan, I was just thinking, someone has said to me, well, David, why don't you do some podcasting?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of laugh because I do everything myself. So
It's all work.
It's a lot. Well, I don't have to tell you, it's all about. So I said, you know what? You go to one of my YouTubes, close your eyes, and there's your podcast. Am I too far off from that, or?
Well, there is that difference in what we have seen, because we do editing. We do really detailed editing here, and you edit for audio different than you edit for video.
I still get an email from you every week.
Mm-hmm.
About one of your shows.
One of my shows, yeah.
I still get that. I've been getting that for 5 years now.
Yep.
Sure.
No, so I have a regular show too, but the whole key is, I wouldn't have thought of that. It started with the hangouts you and I used to do, and at that same time is when podcasting started to hit too, and so we took it. I just kept going. It's like, why not?
Well, let's talk about that. So, you're buying the company from Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much fun could that be? Because you advised him to build a company, so you got it for a good price. Less your fees.
Right. So yeah, it's just going to kind of switch, that he'll be doing some editing for me and some sales with this transition for the first several months, and then we just kind of take, he gets to go retire, and while he's healthy, and go hang out with his wife and do fun things.
So why would somebody want to podcast as opposed to necessarily creating a YouTube video?
Well, think about, it's content generation. It's building authority. And it gives you one more venue. People can take you to go. They can take you while they're exercising. They can take you while they're driving. They can take you in many things while they're multitasking. And in their apps, and it's simpler. Video, you're sitting there watching. And you don't always need video. Not everything needs video.
I think they do.
Yeah, I don't. Because a lot of times
I'm just kidding. I'm a video person. I love.
Oh, I know. No, I love video. I actually enjoy it very much, but it has its place. And, and I have some podcasting people that say, oh, go grab all my YouTube videos and use those. I said, you are screen sharing. We cannot do that. It's kind of dumb. So we ended up editing things out and piecing things together. But it's just one more piece of content, because think about book authors. We're not going to make much money with our books. I mean, very few get rich from being an author. But what they get rich from is the authority they've built, the doors it opens, and that credibility that I've written a book, I have a podcast, be a guest on my show, tell me what you know so well, rather than, hey, you want to listen to a pitch about my stuff? Isn't it much nicer to say, I want to hear about your business, tell me about it, to open up that conversation, to build the trust, to build a relationship that you can continue on. And I have podcast hosts that will go back and they'll close that deal, and they'll go back a year later and say, that guest was great. That was one of my best shows, one of our best listened to shows. I'm going to have him back on to continue that conversation. And they do it.
And here you and I are here today. How many times have you and I done live streaming or videos? At least 15 times, maybe 24 times,
Right.
or we've been part of groups or together. Well, I am so excited for you.
I'm super excited.
Is it okay if I help to market your efforts in what I'm doing?
You do whatever you want with it. I'm very proud of what I've helped Jim build, and what what we will be owning very soon. I'm very excited, and the hosts are very supportive. They are just excited. 2 hosts in particular, Chris Beal and Corey Frank is from Uncommon Pro, and Chris Beal is from Connect and Sell. Connect and Sell is like the authority on getting you more meetings with more people every day and tracking it and seeing your progress and things. And I told them about it, and the first thing they both said is, because the name of their show is Market Dominance Guys, they said, we're going to help you dominate with funnel media. I said, all right, let's go.
Well, you know, I'm going to take our discussion a little different path right now based upon some things that you've been talking about. And you've hit on a lot of major themes. And I think the thing I want to talk about now is your perspective of A, operating out of your home, and B, how involved is your family going to become in your new business venture?
Let's start with work from home. For knowledge workers, those are those of us that are paid to think, and more of you are paid to think than you realize.
You get paid for this stuff? Oh.
We don't ever have to commute again. There is no logic to it. As Chris and Corey say, there's no reason that your 3-pound brain needs to be next to my 3-pound brain in the same room to generate ideas. We can do it from our homes. We can do it from wherever we want to live. So now we have more time.
And to that point, I have operated out of my home for approximately 40 out of my 50 years.
Yep.
10 years I was in an office. But my dream has always been, Susan, this is funny, my dream, which started back in 2007, this Dreaming with Entrepreneurs, I really wanted to, and I've been online all these years, I really wanted to leave my office and go out and rub shoulders with the folks, with the small business owners, with the people who want to. You're absolutely right. You don't need that face-to-face. As a matter of fact, it's more efficient not to be face-to-face.
Most of the time it is, and it keeps the company expense down. It keeps the real estate down. It keeps, I'm sorry, you commercial real estate landlords, but we don't need it. We can repurpose that space for other things. Why not grow food inside? Be more efficient. Find some new things to do with those spaces that people aren't going to need anymore. And I think it's also through this, pandemic, we have also learned how to be a little more tolerant of each other and a little more patient with those of us working from home, juggling kids, juggling pets, Amazon coming to the door every 5 minutes. We're all learning how to do that and realizing this is the humanity of business and working from home, and there is nothing wrong with it. But we have to learn to be accepting of it, and conversely, we have to up our game at home too. We cannot be working in pajamas. We can't have a whole bunch of crap behind us. We can't have our desktops
like this.
Yeah, we can't have our desktops with all of our tabs when we're sharing screens and weird things all over the place. Nobody needs to see your bookmarks. There's all of that professionalism that still needs to come through. And we have that opportunity. We have an opportunity to always be professional. And, for me, I've been working from home in my home for 18 years. Since my daughter was born. And I am actually working on my shed, which will become my studio within the next few weeks. And that is in my backyard, because I do need that space. I need the soundproofing. I need that focus to create without interruption. And I got to tell you, it's Amazon and the dogs. And it is forcing me to go outside. And so they are building a soundproof studio for me, my husband and my son.
Okay, so you do have family involved. How long has the discussion been in your family that you were going to buy the business that you helped create?
Just a couple months.
And did you ask your family for their thoughts, or you just say, this is what I want to do?
No. Oh, no, my husband had to be on board 100% because it's a financial commitment. It's, it's an investment. And we have to be willing to make that sacrifice and commitment and taking over. And it's our schedule commitment too. It's time, because we do have radio shows with deadlines. And so it's like, hey guys, this is what we're going to be doing. And to adjust for that, we're dividing and conquering who can handle which shows, who can take over these tasks. I asked my son, I said, can you, instead of just doing one show, can you edit at least 3 shows a week? And he said, I can do 3 shows a week.
And he's how old?
15.
15.
And he's
wow. And you're hitting on another major theme of mine right now.
His editing ability, he is so discerning, and he knows what to question and the logic. He's just super smart, and he's a logical thinker. And so he will actually say, hey, did they mean to say that? And that doesn't quite make sense. And what if we did this? And I appreciate that. And he can split, a syllable. He can take a letter out of somebody's speaking.
He's an exceptional 15-year-old.
Definitely. Yeah. And this is nice because he doesn't have to do it mowing the lawn. He can, if he wants to, he can get that money too. But this puts money into all of our pockets. Yeah, and then I have two other people too.
I'm just smiling so much because you're talking about so many things that I encourage. Okay, now your 18-year-old, is she on her way to college?
Yeah.
And where she? I'm going to get a little. I've got a reason for asking the questions I'm going to ask. Is she staying local, or she's going to go out of state, or?
No, she's going down to OSU. I mean, sorry, U of O. U of O.
And so, are they in a state right now where the people are on campus, or? Okay.
She's going into PR.
Well, I have been reading a lot of articles about college business students, particularly ones who are out of state from the college where they attend or university where they attend, and now they are seriously questioning if classes are going to be online and I don't have to be on campus, so to speak. Does it make sense for me to pay $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year to be online with the situation?
Right.
I smile with that because I say, and I had this argument with a friend of mine here in Cincinnati who is, he started the School of Entrepreneurship at the University of Cincinnati, and we've been friends for a long time. And I said, help me on this one. And I guess we're going to agree to disagree, but why should a college student, if they know that what they want to do at the end of college is not necessarily to have a job, but they want to start a business, wouldn't it make more sense for them to take all that money that they are going to be spending on college and put it into starting a business? And
I don't agree with that necessarily.
Okay, let's talk about that. Why? What don't you agree with about that?
Because there's, her focus is sports marketing and PR.
Well, okay.
No. Let me tell. So networking is huge. The community that you build by going to college becomes, even if you aren't seeing them all the time, but if you are still collaborating and meeting, those experiences are priceless. And everybody I know that is successful coming out of college, they definitely attribute it to the relationships they made in college. That is their backbone. That is their strength. And so that cost of admission for being able to be part of something that this college organizes, whether it's a virtual or in person, and the schools are really rising to the occasion as far as how do we reshape this to still be of value, and they are working hard. Wow. I look at Grand Canyon University. Grand Canyon University, oh my gosh, they have, I'm trying to remember the name of their program, but they have this whole building that there are 50 incubator startup companies in with angel funding, and they all hire GCU students.
Wow.
So by the time these students graduate, they have 3 years experience and are no longer entry level.
Well, so you're kind of mixing things at that point, but I understand exactly what you're saying. In fact, my oldest son, his very last quarter in college, which was 11 years ago, one of his professors said, "You need to go meet my husband." It was in Columbus, Ohio. Her husband owned a family business. He went and he actually interned his last quarter in college, and he hasn't left there. And he's chief marketing officer. He's a one person. No, actually he's two now. He's hired somebody. He was a chief marketing officer for this company. It has been, and doing a wonderful job and expanding. And the company has grown. It's tripled in size since he's been there now, that's not attributable to him, but it is attributable a lot to his boss, who's the owner of the company. Instead of him having to do a lot of the things that Jordan does, he now can do the things that he is supposed to be doing.
Right.
The visionary, to get the things done. He has an unbelievable business model. It's the most fascinating business model I've ever seen, and it works and it keeps on growing. Wow, it's funny because I empathize with those students who are in college. They might be juniors, they might be seniors. They have those networks that you were talking about, but now they're questioning the value. If in fact it's not, they don't go back on campus in person. Right. And it's virtual. So them being virtual in college is really not too different than what you and I are doing right now. I mean, it
depends. You and I know how to communicate this way. And a lot of people, instructors included, and professors are having to learn those skills, because it's a totally different model and it's a different presentation style of information and knowledge and collaboration. So some of them can't rise to it, and some people are going to make the decision, and my daughter might make the decision after a quarter or a semester and say, this is stupid. I'm not paying this much money to do that. I'm going to instead do it this way and go and pay less and go to a different school. And so she has that option, though, but she wants to test it. She wants that college experience and living on campus, for some time.
Well, then the great test will be with your 15-year-old, as he inputs and helps your business to grow, which he's going to do, and get involved. And we're gonna end because we're 15 minutes. You just used the most important small business keyword in my mind.
What?
That is collaboration.
Yep.
You just said it a minute ago, and that's.
But you asked me something before we hit record about what advice would I give? What is a goal for a small business? And I have to say, what I have learned and I am enjoying. I took some days off to go camping last week. Well, if I don't work, I don't bill. Because I do bill by the hour, because for me, that's an accountability thing. I'm not a retainer kind of person. I like to be accountable, and I basically give my clients invoices with everything I did for them so they know. But I need to make money. So the goal is to have a business model, business offerings, services, products that allow you to make money in your sleep. Passive income. So I don't have to be doing it. But instead, Nina, who does all of our social posting and engagement and things on behalf of our clients, she worked for me straight for 2 straight days to make up for that time, whatever time I need to take off. And I have other people that I have in place for that same purpose. And so they have billable time. They are accomplishing things. They are meeting all the goals for the clients, helping them achieve their goals. And I get to have time off.
How exciting. Maybe I'll, if I move to Beaverton, could I get on your payroll? Actually, I don't need to move to Beaverton. I could be right where. No, I am so happy and so elated that these things are evolving, and because what you're sharing, what you're talking about is what.
Yep.
Are the kinds of things that we say. So you saw some opportunity. Opportunities are a big word. You saw some opportunity. You took a couple months to throw it around your family because you need family involvement to make it happen. So a lot of, well, you're playing the new American business plan family game in your own home. You're playing it every day, aren't you?
Yep.
Okay, so anytime, no, you won't, actually, you're not going to qualify. The rules for someone to come on one of my family game shows that we're creating, there has to be 3 generations.
Oh, yeah.
In that window. So
we don't have, they're dead. We don't have it.
Well, then you need some grandchildren.
No, shut up. What the heck is wrong with you?
Wow. You know what I was saying.
Yeah, no. Stop.
Well, I need them. I've got 5 of them, and one of the well, only 2 of them are old enough to understand what's going on. But how much fun will it be for a baby boomer grandparent to have their child, in a thing, and we talk about business and small business, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that, because obviously it will motivate younger folks, okay, well, the grandchildren, and they will get a feel for what their grandparent was all about and why they were in business and what did they do and what were their thoughts. And
think about it. When our parents, I know my parents, when I never knew anything about my dad did for a living. He went to Rockwell, he worked, he came home at 5, we ate at 5:15 every single day. So I never knew. We talk about what we do all the time. We shut it down though. By the time dinner's over, we are not talking business anymore. But because you have to stop at some point. But they hear the conversations, they hear the challenges, they hear the solutions. They hear the laughter, the joy that we have when we do it, what we learn from our clients, what we help them with, and when we're super excited about something. And that's important for them to hear. They need to hear those conversations. And we might not want to stress our kids out. And my daughter has said, don't stress me out with money. She said, I don't want to hear if we're having a bad month, I don't want to hear it. But my son likes to hear the solution. Well, how do we turn that around? Well, how come it was down this month? What do we do differently? And he is into solution mode. He analyzes it and wants to go into the solution. So nice trash truck. You're going to have to edit that out.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Susan. Thank you. Because we had no pre-discussion, but the things that came out were perfect, and they fit, and you hit a half a dozen key words that I use on a very, very regular basis. So thank you for validating my use of those keywords.
The key is with a keyword. To me, the keywords you have for your business need to ring true for how you do business. And if we come up, for me, I told you what my keywords were. I have 4. And no matter what I do, as long as they all come back to that, I'm on track. Doesn't matter what tools or tactics I use, but it all has to come back to those core values.
It's all about those core values, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, with that, I'll say thank you for your time today, and thank you for sharing. I'm so excited about what's going on, and make sure that I get on any.
Oh yeah, you'll see it all over LinkedIn. We'll have press releases, videos, you name it. We're making a big deal.
Oh, no, you mentioned another thing, like a last statement. It's so much fun for me to go to my LinkedIn page, because on my page, I see your stuff. It's unbelievable, but almost every time I go to add something, right underneath me is David Amerlin.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that, well, the folks, and it's fun to see. It's a good way to catch up and read and see what's going on and what's happening. So anytime you want to share with our Dreaming with Entrepreneurs community, you know that you have pretty close to the right of first refusal of my time. You're in a small elite group.
Thank you so much for always being so welcoming, and for all that you're doing to help others grow their businesses.
That's what we want to do. We need it. Now, before, a couple of years ago, we talked about it. Now, we desperately need it, as, 40 million businesses or more, I'm sure more, shut down a short 4 months ago, five at max, and here we are in this big transition. And the point I guess we leave folks with, you and I live in the online world, so our business never stopped. Matter of fact, what was going on created more opportunity for us.
Definitely.
Way more opportunity.
Yeah.
So here we are. Thank you, and we'll see you folks the next time, which, I think today's episode 5 or 6, and we'll see you for episode 7.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.